Hey guys, welcome to Let Coin and Wine Flow, a Crusader Kings 3 RP role-playing campaign, very focused, a Game of Thrones mod usage. This is episode 1. Let's kind of talk about what's going on after that prologue. So some of the first steps we're going to take, we are going to revoke this vassalage so that we get control of this particular castle. It means more power and more money for us. Unanticipated result is that we do lose our marshal, but we can replace him with a better marshal, actually. So, is it really a loss? We are currently swaying our septon. We want to make sure that we're pulling in the church taxes by making the septon happy. The septon will be attempting to revoke House Goldwine's claim on the lordship of Vyne Town. So once that happens, we're going to remove their ability to rule Vyne Town and put it back in our hands. We're going to do the same thing for all of the other vassalages in the area until the Arbor is entirely controlled solely by Lord Red. Although now he's called Red Flowers. I'm still using this mod for the first time. So as a bastard, I guess things have turned out strangely. I was hoping I would be called Redwyne. Maybe when I have a kid, it'll form House Vyne, and then things will change, but I guess we'll have to see. Maybe the kids will be House Vyne. This is being recorded on AGOT version 0.4.4, which just came out. This is the first big patch, I think, since the Nomad DLC was released. I just got done recording about 6 hours worth of footage, and I can't continue that save anymore, so we are starting fresh, starting new here. I don't think there's much else to do. Oh, I can station another military unit, because I think let's go here. I don't really want to use the military too much, honestly. And I don't want to negotiate. Oh, this is Tyrell's though, but he doesn't like us. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to eliminate my family, but I'm going to play as if the Redwynes are actually dead as per the RP. And hopefully they'll die off and not really be very important. One thing I do need to do is make sure to mark out the High Septon so that we can get that Pope money from him later. I think that Lord Red is definitely the kind of guy that sees the idea of pretending to be faithful and get paid for it as entirely amusing and transactional. So here we go. Probably several events are going to happen. The Maester is going to pop up, and maybe the Master Smith. All across Westeros, Raven's Land, telling that this Aegon Targaryen, the Lord of Dragonstone, is claiming the entire continent with himself as its king. Ridiculous, many would say, but those more educated and acquainted with the Targaryens know of their dragons, and their legacy as the blood of old Valyria. We shall see if this would-be conqueror with his sisters, Visenya and Rhaenys, and all their dragons, Balerion, the Black Dread, Vhagar, and Meraxes, can truly defeat an entire continent. Our kingdoms have stood for thousands of years. I'm actually on their side. I just lost my caravan master. That was due to the marriages. The maester I sent for from the Citadel has arrived in Winegard, a reachman by the name of Colin. Let us hope he will be loyal and wise. Here we go. We're going to have Colin pop in there. We'll wait a sec, because we're probably about to get our smith. That's the marriage getting locked in. Where's that smith at? Here we go. A master smith of Qohor. Orzono is brought before me. With him is an assortment of various weapons and trinkets he has forged over the years. The craftsmanship leaves little doubt in my mind that Orzono is what I need. I ask him if he is familiar with working Valyrian steel. Yes, my lord, I can work it into anything you desire. If you have the material, of course. So this guy has the specific religion and culture to work Valyrian steel. So we're going to pay him a lot of money to join us. He has joined us. He has an incredible stewardship, so we actually want him to get on our stewardship council for sure. And then we're going to have him convert that. Let's see. Can this guy only... I can't make him do stewarding. Let's see if we can get someone who's a steward as well. Lord Bertrand. Isn't really making much of a difference here. Let's assume that raising my lifestyle XP points is probably going to be the better choice. Let's make that assumption. All right, we're underway, and we're going to get up to regular speed now that we have our people. We're going to appoint a caravan master. Tutor. Oh, we don't have a tutor. That is deeply unfortunate. A tutor would be excellent to have. It's going to be my fiance is 5 years away from actually being marriageable. We're definitely going to have a tutor by the time she arrives, for sure. We're going to pay homage, and we're probably going to do it in a weird way. I believe you can travel super far while you're paying homage. So we're going to spend a lot of money on mercenary guards, and then we are going to do a lot of visitations. I'm going to do as many until it says I can't do any more. We're looking to pick up all of this XP and dragon lore. So like if you go to the Citadel, you get a dragon lore event. A lot of the dragon lore events aren't available yet. Like Harrenhal hasn't been burned down. The Field of Fire hasn't happened. So we're not going to be able to get those dragon lores because they literally have not happened. And in fact, there's a chance that they may not happen. Okay. Boop, boop, boo, doo, boo. We're just going to go in a long crawl, friends, all across the reach and maybe across as much of the world as I can get to pick up all of this beautiful XP. We're at we're kind of not really doing much here in the beginning. We're gaining funds. I was going to say the Aegons. The Targaryens need to do their conquering. We want to let them do their conquering. We want to let them cook. I believe in the Targaryens. They've come by our area. They've come by our... we've heard that they've come to the Arbor before to hawk, and that they're cool. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear that if you take a dragon, your dragon will defeat a fleet of ships. You do not need to have encountered a dragon personally to understand how bad dragon versus ship can be. Any sailor that has seen the effects of fire is going to implicitly understand how bad this is. So let's see here. We're skimming the north part of Dorne. I think this is Ironwood territory, cutting through most of the Stormlands here. We're stopping by Tarth, famous for, in a few hundred years, being the birthplace of Brienne of Tarth. We're going to drop by what will one day be King's Landing, but is currently just a muddy hill. This is actually where Aegon lands, which is why it's called King's Landing. We're going to pick up these things before Aegon lands, and hopefully when he lands they will change, and we'll be able to pick up the experience of dropping by a second time. We're not going to go everywhere, but we are going to cover like the main part of the continent here, because there's lots of stuff all packed into a small area. And if we could pick up a couple of perk points here, that would be great. That'd be awesome. It should be noted that this is an active war zone. Aegon is currently landing here, and then he's going to square up against the... I don't know if they're called the Iron Islands right now. I think that King Hoar is called the King of Islands and Rivers, or maybe Islands and Hills. Famously, this will eventually be House Tully land and be called... River, well, I mean, it's called River and Run now. It'll be called the River Kingdoms? That's not right. Am I losing it? Am I losing my edge here? It's been a long day, friends. I hate to say that while recording. I'm just really excited to do this. I mean, I did just do it. I spent 6 hours today recording and editing, but I really want to get this series out because I'm super excited about it. I'm just a little under the weather. We're going to go by Pike. We're going to visit those Iron Islands. We're going to keep visiting stuff. So normally you can't visit this many things. You can't divert from where you're going. You can only do it when you're paying homage, or I think if you are petitioning the king. So that's why we're going on this grand tour. It's basically our once in a lifetime. We just turned 16 and inherited a ton of money. And so now we're going to see the world before we have to settle in and get down to getting politically married and etc., blah, blah, blah. Life is so hard as a former bastard slave, etc. And that should cover the western. No, I missed the stewardship temple here. Yep, yeah. It's really not going to give it to me? No? Transport. Listen, if I can't get this, I'm not afraid to miss it. It's just not sure where I'm supposed to go. That looks like I clipped it there. I'm going to take that. That seems reasonable. We're going to hit up Red Lake. There's usually pretty good hunting at Red Lake. I see events for hunting pop up there all the time. That's going to hit up there. We want to... This is... so this is Fossaway land. This is where this is Peak Land, Dunstonbury. And then Cider Hall is Fossaway. That's our father-in-law to Bee's land, and then we're going to cut across through Peaklands back to Highgarden, and then we're going to take our trip home. Wow, we have so many dangers on the way. We could very well die before this really good start. Oh, we do actually want to, on the beginning of the trip, we do want to clip this area and pick up the stewardship at the anchorage. So Ryam's Port is where the sailors come to get their alcohol throughout the entirety of the Seven Kingdoms. There's gonna be a lot of events coming up, especially with 40 plus danger spots. Get ready to buckle in. The seas around here are thick with Vyneman traders going about their usual craft, carrying rare and exotic goods from one port to another. One such merchant ship holds an item within it that immediately takes my interest. The moment I lay eyes upon the bejeweled seven-pointed star, I know I could never find anything like it back in the Arbor, and it simply must be mine. Oh, I qualify for this. How much is it? I can afford that. I'd rather I didn't buy it, but actually, I'm sorry, I'd rather I didn't have to pay for it, but it is quite good, especially if your level of devotion is high, and generating more piety means more Pope money. We do love Pope money. Here we go. Upon arrival at the Citadel, I am directed by an Archmaester to a collection of books. They look ancient, but are clearly well looked after. I should find a comfortable chair somewhere. It seems this book is rather thick. The book goes into rather intrinsic detail about the various known hatchings of eggs, starting from the Targaryens' emigration to Dragonstone from old Valyria, all those years ago. So I have a Dragon Lore rating of 1 now. I'm going to try to pass that on to my kids. Probably I'm not going to get access to something. We need to change our fit, by the way. We look like a scrub. I don't like the way the cloak is clipping through the hair either. While passing through the farmlands of Redwyne, my caravan master Colin steps perilously close to a concealed pit trap, but is grabbed just in time by my knight Halbert. Colin, you need to be more careful, Halbert admonishes, concern evident in his voice. Colin offers a sheepish, grateful smile in return. Oh, thanks. I owe you one. Wow. Our maester almost fell into a hole and died. So, yeah, they're going to become friends. I kind of know how these other things go. They're not good. We don't want it. We do want them forming friendships. It's good to have a court that's all nice to each other. Just as we are about to set out, it starts pouring rain. Rain as far as the eye can see. I can't help but curse my poor luck, but I had seen the dark clouds come in for a while. If we want to make our journey on time, we have to set out. But it is a risky journey with the weather being what it is. We could push it, but with so many people, and we have basically a huge part of our court traveling with us, and while I can afford to get ill, any of them getting ill or dying would be a disaster, honestly. So there's no reason for us to just not slow down. We're not actually on a schedule here. Well, this is horrible. This is not going to be good. We are walking among the hills late in the day. The darkness comes suddenly and brought by the dark clouds above us. Then there is a distant, loud rumble of thunder. Soon, there is another, combined with a dazing flash of lightning. And another strike, brightly illuminating the area. The afterimage burned into my eyes. I blink and see where the lightning has struck. Now there is a quickly expanding brush fire, and it is spreading towards us. We can run, and there's a 60% chance we're gonna have some problems. Halbert's gonna get burned, or put out the fire before. So 15% chance we've quelled the fire. 50% chance that Halbert gets wounded and burned. Burned is not great. And 33% chance that things go really bad. I think as a brave individual, you can see here that brave causes us stress if we run away. We're going to go in. So we're super weak. We have a prowess of 0. Our marshal's all right, but not great. And we're not cunning or intriguing. I think we are going to try to bravely put the fire out. It stopped at a cost. Halbert is burned and wounded. I think the maester must have healed him because he doesn't have the wounded trait, so that actually worked out kind of well for us. We're not going to be able to read these. They're going to pop by so quickly. My lord, a letter marked with the seal of House Targaryen has arrived from the Rush Hills. King Aegon Targaryen has been proclaimed as the new ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. So there should be a new Seven Kingdoms area. Excellent. We sit in a quiet tavern in Sidestone when a loud band of ragged-looking sellswords come barging in. Their brutish leader pushes one of my guards aside and audaciously sits down at my table. A nobleman, eh? My lord, you interested in the services of the best band, the mercenaries in Sidestone? More lawmen you'll never find, at least if you pay us properly. I could get an army in Wine Garden, which I don't need. We could get this guy to join our court for $70. His aptitude for violence is excellent. He's a great knight. I think $70 to just outright purchase him is good. He is now going to join our court. Oh, he's aspiring Blade Master, too. He's, like, actually good. He's not, like, amazing, but he's above average for sure. And we could use as many knights as we can get our hands on. We're a little thin on that. Lorimar, the local captain, and a few of his officers greet me as my entourage enters the military camps of Nightsong. As he wanders off, I quickly dismount and follow him through the latest siege equipment. I nod, appreciating the organized chaos I am observing. Now, what would my lord want to do next? Lorimar says, looking at me expectantly. I can try to increase my prowess while getting wrecked, or I can look at stuff. I think I'm going to look at stuff. And I got better at military, which is great. All right, we're skipping this event. I know this event from regular CK3. We're going to have to kidnap the hermit in order for anything to happen. We're just going to pass him by. He's kind of annoying. I'd love to have one, but I don't want to upset the people whose lands we're passing through. We're not really well loved yet. In fact, it would be easy to say that we're hated. Slope, I hear Halbert shout out in a panic. Soon thereafter, I hear a loud cracking sound, like that of wood breaking, or of my patience finally snapping. I step out of the leaves to see the splintered remains of a wagon wheel. My wagon wheel. I'm sorry, my liege. It was my turn as lookout, and I fell asleep at the reins. We can be late. We don't need to pay anything. We can recruit this guy as our fool. We can get him to try to tell us about Maria, who is the matriarch of the Martells. I'll take a fool. We're really desperate to get more people in our... Oh my gosh, she's got foul diplomacy. Probably this guy's a spy, but as long as he eventually spies for us, I don't really care that much. Alright. Oh, we're in Dorne now. We could be in trouble. We could get some really nasty events down here. They don't play around down here in Dorne. At the foot of a particularly imposing hill fort in Highgrave, a group of children play at warriors, their laughter a counterpoint to the solemnity of the stone. One child, bold and bright-eyed, approaches with a wooden sword. Halt! None may pass the fort of Arnulf and his impressive band. The child exclaims gleefully, Oh, wait! Are you a lord? Now, I can get Famous Visitor, which makes things better in Highgrave, but this isn't one of our lands, so I don't care that much. We can get children to scout ahead for us and make us go faster. We could piss off these children, just ridiculous. I'll just play with these kids, man. Excellent. And now we're going to move faster because the kids are going ahead of us and telling us what's up. Nice work, kids. As stroll around the market of Long Cove, loud ruckus comes from just a couple of stalls down from me. There's a furious man, animated and waving his hands. Lady Ashara will have your head for this, he yells at another merchant, who looks, if possible, even angrier. I would love to see her try. The stall owner dismisses the merchant with a wave of his hand. Angrily turning to his bodyguards, the merchant clearly intends to get a deal one way or the other. We could have some problems happen. We could make an alliance with Lady Ashara, which I don't particularly care about. Where is she from? If she's Relorian from Lys. I'll just watch. I don't think we had any stress to burn off, but I'll just watch. And you know what? We're about to go see some kings. We're about to go see the King of the Stormlands. It's time to get fresh. I'm thinking some sick duds here. We do want something either Reach-ish or Lyseni. I'm not opposed to that. It does seem a little warm for somebody who lives on a summer island. Damn, the Red Priests have some fucking dope clothes. This unsurprisingly, the Lannister outfits emulate wealth. Now, hold on. Let's get rid of this cloak. Or maybe just choose a good cloak. I don't know about that. Oh, maybe that. Nice. I actually like that. Can we make them rotate? Does this look good? That's alright. It's okay. I don't hate it. Let's see here. What's the steward? Yeah. Okay. We actually want to turn him, though. Get that more in frame here. All right, I'll take it. I think this is a good look for him. We're getting pretty close to... this is my mom, who's also my spy master. Despite our best efforts, my agents have yet to uncover any secrets here at court. I do not believe we will ever find anything either. There is less going on here than a graveyard at noon. Unfortunate. It is known that the people of Wailing Keep seem to profess a special devotion towards their knights and their legends. My lord, the knight says, bowing his head, it is most fortunate that you and I came to meet at this crossroads, for I'm in search of a marvelous fountain, which water is said to cure all illnesses. If you were to help me in my quest, I shall pay homage to you. I shall never leave a knight unattended. Lead the way. This is going to go so badly for me. The knight leads us to a small clearing where a natural fountain glimmers. The light reflects on its surface with a blissful shimmer, and it makes the water look so bright that it feels like a second sun. Careful! A beast! A guardian! The knight points at a stag, standing between us and the fountain. I can't fight it. That's not gonna happen. I'll distract it, you get the water. Nope, that's also not gonna happen. I can sacrifice him and take the water. I mean, that's not super in character, but yeah, like, these are not great options for me. I'm gonna distract it, though. The distraction worked! Unbelievable! Unbelievable. In the quiet of our camp near Elder Green, a shrieking uproar breaks the calm. My bodyguard Harmon confronts my knight Joffrey accusingly, holding a treasured bracelet. You thief! That was my mother's! Harmon exclaims, eyes blazing with anger. Joffrey vehemently denies the claim. You lying vampire, it has always belonged to me. So let's see here. We either make Harmon get it, and they become rivals. We make Joffrey get it, they become rivals, and they both have problems with me. You are both children handed over, and I get a bunch of money from them, and they won't like me very much, or they fight each other. I mean, he's my sworn shield. I definitely don't want to piss him off. I'm just gonna go with Harmon. I'm gonna just say that. Oh, we have enough money. We might be able to get that gem eye. We're gonna get that ruby eye. Excellent. Look at that now. That's fresh. Let's get a close up on that. Amazing. These guys did a fantastic work with this mod. I think I'm done spending money on courtiers and extraneous things like that. We need to start putting it into improving the Arbor. But yeah, this was a good start. We look so fly. We stop to rest one night at a tavern. And while I'm sitting... I don't know why I'm doing like iambic pentameter or something. While I'm sitting in the corner, peacefully enjoying some Stormlander music, the door barges open and a large silhouette appears. A knight swaggers in and the atmosphere immediately changes. The people bow their heads in reverence, some swoon, and the barkeep immediately pours the apparently famous knight free drinks. Is being a knight really so special here? I should find out why, or I should get training hard. I should have the knight trait. I will definitely take training hard. Don't I have the knight trait? I do. Yeah, I'm already a knight. This has been an adventuresome journey. We've gotten so many events. Alright, we're stopping at Storm's End. Okay, we're not stopping at Storm's End. We're sailing right past. We picked up a new perk. Serve the Crown is normally pretty good. Natural Dread is excellent, but I think I have so many penalties to Dread. Yes, I have a negative 15 Dread, so this would just cancel that. On the other hand, Stalwart Leader will give me +4 to Prowess, but guess what? I have so many negatives to Prowess, it'll also be 0. But, these two are not particularly good, you know, the next tier, but Chivalric Dominance with +75 Captain Effectiveness is really good. So we're going to go down this tree because the, you know, +4 Captains is excellent, advantage, friendly, you know, reduce friendly casualties is also excellent. So we're not, the first ones are bad picks for us, but the second tier ones, there's a clear winner. Our road takes us through treacherous parts of Hillwood. While I scan for any dangers ahead, a rustling bush grabs my attention. Could it be a wild animal? As I brace myself for impact, Joffrey jumps out of the bush ahead, holding a plant. You scared me, Joffrey. Anyway, let me see what you have here. Some kind of a fruit? I exclaim. Yes, and it smells so delicious. I wonder what it tastes like. Maybe I'll just have a little bite, he says. This is the most halfling. I'm just gonna let this guy eat it. You do whatever, man. He gets high as hell. Potatoes. As I am looking through the market stalls in Vellum, I feel my purse string cut. Despite my immediate reaction, the thief disappears in the crowd. Only through pure coincidence, one of my guards sees the man as he heads into a back alley. Stop, or I'll have your head. One of my guards shouts at him, and the thief turns around, giving us an angry, shifty glare. I can have him join my court for some cash. Not a particularly good combatant, and he's not a knight. I can kill him and gain some dread and get my money back, or give my money back. I think I'm just gonna straight up get my money back. Now, sometimes you move really slow and sometimes you just zoom. We're now in the danger zone because we're in an active war zone again. I think. Who are they fighting right now? Oh, we just passed through the conflict zone. So this is a pretty big battle. I think it's called the Last Storm. What happens is Aegon sends, I want to say Rhaenys, and his bastard Baratheon cousin-ish son, Orys, yeah, Orys Waters, aka Orys Baratheon. He sends him to Storm's End. Orys gets in a fight with Argilac, wins, and then marries and screws Argilac's Durrandon daughter, Argella. And yeah, I mean, Argilac's dead, the Durrandon line dies, Baratheons end up ruling the Stormlands. Eventually, they're going to have this guy named Robert. Passing through a back alley in Faithfield, I see a lonely child and her dog sitting in a corner behind a small wall. Here you go, Valor, she tells it as she hands it a small piece of bread, keeping none for herself. Looking at the two, clearly the dog has been taken much better care of than its owner. That actually works grammatically, I think. The kid must be giving it everything she can find. I can adopt this kid. You could grow up to marry one of my advisors. We're going to take care of you and your dog. The impressive defensive structure at the peak of Bluntmark Forest is quite something. As I wander along the outer perimeter, I notice a peculiar person in the distance. He appears to be mumbling to himself, all the while stopping to crouch and collect what appears to be herbs of various kinds. It's almost as if he's talking to the herbs. I approach him carefully, and he looks up, various herbs displayed in his palm. I notice a spark of curiosity behind his eyes, proposing An unspoken question. Now, I am a gardener. I mean that by I have the gardener trait. And I think herbalist would be an excellent addition. I can afford this. I did not get herbalist, but +1 to learning is not bad. As we traverse the outskirts of Maidenpool, the thunderous echo of hooves breaks the stillness. A cadre of fine horses and their riders approach, a majestic sight against the backdrop of the verdant plains. "Hail, travelers," the leader calls. "We are emissaries of the province of Poolsguard. Would you care to witness the prowess of our steeds? We can watch them play with their horses. We can buy their horse and just get permanent plus prestige. That's actually really good. I'm more interested in your prowess as knights. We can just straight up buy them as knights. They are strong knights. Does this guy have siege expert? Military engineer? Yeah. Or beautiful creatures. I think I'm actually going to take the one that gives me that permanent prestige. Admiring the stallion that now follows my every command, I muse upon what to call him. A name inspired by history. Valyrian, for the great dragon of Aegon the Conqueror. We're about to pass near House Sward lands. For those who keep attention, we're going to go right past Stonehenge, or as some call it, Hedge Hall. The Inn of the Kneeling Man, or as it will eventually become known, I believe, the Inn at the Crossroads. Ah, we got a perk here, and it's Golden Obligations first, and then we're going to go down the middle stewardship line, right side, left side, divided attention, architect. Then we'll work for avaricious, and we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. The journey has been long and tiresome, and my feet ache so much that my ancestors must feel it. As I feel I'm about to collapse from exhaustion, I feel something heavy weigh on my neck. Before long, I am adorned from head to toe in traditional Riverlander garb. The street alive with jubilation. Every househead beckons me to come inside and rest my weary laurels. It would only take a moment to regain my stamina, and I would be welcomed as a guest of honor. Riverlander hospitality is legendary. Can I really afford not to see it for myself? Let's take a break and be pampered by the locals. Let's do it. For 5 years, minus 10% stress gain. It is known that the Riverlander people are ardent believers in the old god's faith and do not take kindly to non-believers. Nevertheless, Thickbill is on our route, so we must pass through. Quickly, though, the villagers' vengeful eyes set upon us like a lynx prowling its meal. Before we have a chance to react, the local keeper descends upon us with a mob of raging fanatics, screeching about our allegedly heretical beliefs and demanding we pay atonement for passing through these holy lands. This is a strange event, because Riverlanders are actually famous for being piously of the Seven, not of the old gods. I don't know if this is like a historical thing, or whether a mod who was writing, or the person who was writing these mods was like, this is a good idea. But yeah, they are historically Faith of the Seven. You can find that on the Song of Ice and Fire wiki. It's also in the Riverlands chapter of the Song of Ice and Fire tabletop RPG campaign guide. Caitlin Tully ignores the old gods for the Seven. She's about as Riverlander as you're gonna get, and if she wanted to believe in the old gods, I mean, the North is definitely the place where they worship them. Do we want to debate this guy and lose, or just pay him money? We're gonna lose the money either way, so we're just gonna pay him. We are having trouble keeping our money supply up. We're spending like crazy. However, this is completely accurate for a 17-year-old who just became rich and is going on a world trip. For sure, for sure. You know, it keeps telling me I have an accolade. Do I have the one for liege travel? Or maybe like plus courtly... Army damage is excellent, actually. Procedure is also good. This is actually a good one. Ooh. I think we want to call them the strategists of the army. Alright, we're going to the Iron Islands, which have been conquered by the Seven Kingdoms. How's that war going? They are losing. They're losing. They have more troops, and they have 3 dragons, and they're losing. Guys, you're embarrassing yourself, my king, my liege. Where is the king located? He's actually at Storm's End. Interesting. Can we see these armies? Probably not. We're not in the area, so we can't see them. I didn't vocalize it, but we did get the martial perk for chivalric dominance, or whatever it's called, where we get the plus 75% knight effectiveness, which is huge. That's a huge pickup. As the silhouette of Ironholt looms ahead, the rugged outlines of hill forts command the landscape. A brutish-looking group of warriors approach, their leader the coarsest of them all. "My lord," he nods, "we are men from Lord Gorin's garrison. For a small fee, we can protect you on your journey. What do you say?" I can recruit this Ironborn, which I don't want. I don't want. We can pay him, and he will ensure our safety, or we just skip him, yeah. Traveling through the sometimes harsh environments has invigorating effects on at least my state of mind and vigor. As I glance over at Harmon, however, he does not appear to be doing quite as good. His movement is labored, his breathing heavy, and spontaneous bursts of coughing ripple through his body. Clearly, he is not well. We're just going to wait around. We'll be good. Yeah, we can get him a marriage. Actually, can we get all of our knights a marriage here real quick? The sea is calm and forgiving today, still as a boulder, and a powerful wind at our back to boot. It seems it'll be an easy day for the rowers below, but then I spot the mangled corpse of a ship buried nose first into some jagged rocks just ahead. There doesn't appear to be any survivors, and the rocks would be no trivial thing to navigate, yet I feel compelled to go and investigate this mysterious wreck. I'm a sailor. I know that that's a mistake. We're absolutely not doing that under any circumstances. Alright, we actually can marry these guys off now. Oh yes, we can educate that young girl. Maybe? No? We have the girl in our court, right? It's so strange that we can gain ward. Oh, you know what? The kid is probably in our traveling party. That's why we can't do it. We won't be able to educate her until we arrive. Do we have another knight in our company? No. I have to personally knight my own admiral. And I like the kid, I can't train him until I finish homaging my liege. Just such a normal thing to say. Let's keep marrying these. Oh boy. Oh, because he's not a noble. No noble will marry him. I think we're just gonna... I don't see any congenital traits here, so like nothing that can be inherited. So we're just gonna pick somebody who's as young as possible so that they have as many kids as possible. You're already married. You are a noble. I can't control your actions. You are also already married. I would like you to marry one of my children, to be honest. I want to keep you in the bloodline. You can marry the little girl that... no, we can just marry you. Yeah. All right. You're going to start having kids immediately. It's just he's such a... He has so much strong stats. I mean, a 64 and a 54 are insane. These are incredibly high base stats, and we definitely want him to be passing them down to another generation. Okay, so my admiral has married my mother. And then this guy, our fool, will just marry... Oh, we can marry a very nice young woman who has great stats. And we might be able to arrange some additional marriages down the line to take advantage of that for kids. Ooh. And so he spoke, and so he spoke, that Lord of Castamere. Yeah, we're going to go into debt, but the bonus to travel for 25 years is going to be for most of our life. Also, army movement speed is usually pretty good. Not for an island nationer. It's not that good, but it's good. While traveling through Clayhelm, we run into some Reachman knights. They are deeply respectful and apparently huge lovers of poetry, as they insist on reciting it at every chance they get. The code of conduct they follow has several merits, and I can't help but admire it. One of the knights, Imri, is particularly impressive. I will become personally chivalrous, although again, it should be noted, I am already knighted. I'm one of those intellectual knights, though. Or like when they knight British actors. Alright, so in the end, if you can get all the way down to the bottom of the right-hand tree of family hierarchy, this is a good starting perk. But this is the better starting perk because befriending people is really excellent. But yeah, the left tree is good, but it's not as good as the bottom of the right tree. But starting perk-wise, befriend is better. The procession has ground to a halt a stone's throw away from White Grove. I look over to see my knight Halbert, dismounted and intently staring at something on the ground. The other entourage members have gathered around him. Halbert looks up as I approach. My lord, there's an ant path here. I may be a tad superstitious, but you should never cross an ant path. He pauses. My great-grandmother did. She never returned home. Well, we're in Peaklands, so I'd rather not stay here. But it's too dangerous to mess around on other things. As we sit by the campfires after a long day, a group of travelers approaches us in the dark. They look like a gaggle of lost pilgrims led by a haggard-looking man. Despite my first impression, I notice they are all carrying valuables of some kind. Please, my lord, can we please be allowed to rest by your campfire? We've been through a long journey. Come, enjoy our campfire and tell us of your travels. Hey, so this chair, here's the thing. The chair is alive now. It won't be eventually. And by eventually, I mean very soon. It'll be killed. I think it's called the Oaken Throne. The Gardeners raised a living throne, and the Tyrells inherited a dead throne. However, if you have Gardener and Herbalist, and you have some other stuff, and you are the Lord Paramount of the Reach, and you hold Highgarden, if you have all of that, I think you can regrow the throne, which gives a bunch of bonuses. That's super cool. Servants usher me into King Mern the Ninth's great hall in Highgarden, where he sits his throne waiting to hear my pledge. I kneel at the feet of my lord and pledge the many oaths of homage as his scribes record the event. With that, the ceremony is complete. I have nothing to offer my king except my promise to faithfully serve as a vassal to the kingdom. Mern bids me to arise and confirms his satisfaction, along with my rights to rule the lands I rule in his stead. Hail to the king. And finally, we are on our way home after a multi-year journey at this point. 18 plus months on the road. We will want to build, I think, farms and fields here. This is going to be our first big pickup. Now look, I think that if we were trying to play maximum wise and we weren't role playing, getting the sort of necessary legal justifications to strip the lands, we could just revoke the titleage from all of these guys, force them to fight us. Probably we have more troops than them, but even if we didn't, we could call in our father-in-law's troops and he would definitely win the war for us. With that said, that is super metagamey. We're gonna slowly and legally remove them from power. Passing through Starfish Harbor, a peasant woman offers me a refreshing mug of milk with a taste sweeter than anything I've tasted before. "What is this marvelous drink you've offered me?" I ask, to which she responds, "Milk from an earth almond. There is no person who can resist the allure of this concoction on a hot summer day, no child who could avoid smiling when offered a mug, and no Dornishman without a sweet tooth for it. This beverage isn't milk, it's gold." I can fund agriculture to increase... I don't think I want to do that, though. I'm going to be honest with you. I could get my close family members. I only have one close family member, though. Or instead, I rid myself of the desire for horchata. I will not fall to the temptation of the drink. Be gone! Horchata. How is swaying our bishop going? We should be happier. I'd like to get him above 50 and then maybe befriend him. That should push us the rest of the way. Didn't work. What's the odds on this? 14%? That's horrible. Probably we're gonna fail this. And then it'll be 5 years before we can try it again, but that's life. We need to educate this young girl. She is training in stewardship. I am a steward. However, I want to train my own kids. So, and I also want Orzono to train his kids. So, you're going to train under Ariana. And she has intelligent. So actually, this is still quite a good deal for you. I hate to say you don't know how good you have it, Kit, but actually, you don't know how good you have it. That's gonna be my wife one day. Melrose Fossaway. She's wearing dynastic clothes now that match her house colors of, you know, kind of, I want to say, that's not quite tan. And then, of course, the red. The apple red. Cutting Quarterstones. What a great name for that. So we are also playing with the Seasons mod. I don't think it's in effect yet. We're now in 1 AC, so we're one after the Conquest. It may actually start shortly. The weather will kick in, and it'll go from, like, winter to summer. And as it switches between them, in summer, you'll get a bonus to taxation, and in winter, you'll get a negative to it. And also, the cost to build stuff will change. So building stuff in the winter, with you getting less taxes, always very rough. Are still fighting Argilac. So there is an event that should trigger that maybe isn't triggering, where if Argilac and Ori's waters are in the same area. They start a duel to the death. Ori's is here in the Stormlands. Argilac is also at Storm's End. Why are they not dueling each other and fighting? How are you losing? You control part of Storm's End, but they control Faring's Cross, which looks like southeastern Crownlands. You guys gotta get these dragons in here, man. You can't be losing these wars. This is gonna be a non-canon run for sure at this point. My Marshal Master Eustace has been showing off a promising new recruit. He may not be of as noble stock as you, my liege, but on my name, I swear that Andris is someone you would want to be on your side. That's so funny because this guy is actually the dynasty head of a legitimate noble house, and I'm a bastard. So, very well, Andris shall serve me. He is a decent knight here. Oh, and he actually has military engineer and raider. He's a great support army commander. We're probably going to wrap it up here now that we can finally lock in farms and fields. We're going to be picking up the farms and fields. You see gives a holdings bonus. That's because of our culture. It gives also a development bonus as well. We're in a good place. I hate this beard. We're going to get rid of it. There's plenty of facial hair that doesn't suck that we can probably go for. Nope. Nope. I don't know. What feels most piratical? I thought something in there looked pretty good. Maybe like a pointed chin beard? I actually kind of like that. That's too much. I don't know. I'm not really into the mustaches I've seen so far. Oh. No. I don't know. I definitely want it to blend. This isn't the worst. I think we can say that. And you know what? Let's do a scene here. This is gonna be the thumbnail. All right, we are doing a scene with, let's say, the tavern. I feel like there's like an inn shop or like a wine shop or something. And so we spoke. At Lord of Castamere. I could go for this tavern, sure. We're gonna do tavern, we're gonna do steward. We're gonna think, oh, here it is, wine cellar. Yeah, let's do that. Let's back up a little bit. I zoomed in a lot. That's what the problem was. Nope, too small. I think that looks good. And then we do hide UI. Then we'll take a screenshot. That'll be the thumbnail. If you've seen it, you've seen it, you know? Thanks for joining me. Consider leaving a comment at the bottom how you feel about the struggles of House Vyne so far, Redwyne, although he is called Red Flowers now, and my plans so far. My plans are join the Targaryens as soon as possible, avoid Peak interference from the Peak family, and all of these former Redwyne vassals, eliminate them. Have a huge family, have my new Vyne family replace all of the Redwyne, Goldwyne, all of those loyalists, House Cup, all of them, gone, boom, done. The island of the Arbor will be held solely by us. Let me know in the comments what you feel about that, because you're going to see more from Redwyne. You're going to enjoy all the Redwyne you can get your hands on.